king of the dwarves of Ironhold, Bromden Ironjaw, is in the DorkLair. Welcome to another DorkLair action figure review. Today we're taking a look at King Bromden Ironjaw from the Mythic Legions line by Four Horsemen. So this is a dwarven king of the kingdom of Ironhold. And the take on the dwarves in this one is kind of interesting. So Bromden, like many dwarves, likes to amass wealth and craft fine weapons. But in this storyline right now, he has an alliance with the Goblin Kingdom. Basically, like they're what would be their arch enemies. They have this kind of uneasy alliance because they're both working for the Legion of Arethyr and Gorgo Etherblade. So in some ways, the dwarves in this storyline right now are working for the bad guys. So it's kind of cool. So Bromden Ironjaw's main goal here is to amass as much wealth as he can, even if that means teaming up with the bad guys. And take a look at this dude. He is pretty wealthy. He's got a really nice, richly decorated armor. He's got this beautiful crown on his head. Crazy, awesome hammer with jewels throughout. The hammer is gigantic, by the way. Look at that thing. He's not without his problems, but the overall just impact of this guy is sweet. He's got that soft goods sort of fur stuff going on. He's got the dwarven sculpt. This is actually my first dwarf in the line, so I'm super happy to have it. I'm going to pick up some more dwarves, I think, after having this guy. But yeah, so really, really nice figure, but he does have a couple of issues, and I'll get to those as we make our way through the review. And taking a quick look at the packaging, same as always, except for you've got Bromden on the side with his bio, which is where I learned his story. So Bromden Ironjaw of Ironhold, and a member of the Legion of Arethyr. And then on the back, you've got the usual stuff going on. And again, this is a reusable package. There's actually like an insert plastic tray that goes in there. It just looks nicer on the video to have it out. But this will slide in and out, and you can kind of reseal it and stuff. So really collector-friendly packaging, really nice stuff. All right, so there's a lot going on with this figure, and there's a lot of swappable parts. So I'm going to try to start right here, just with like the base setup as he comes out of the packaging. So he's got his crown off in the packaging, and the bearded head. There's a second head that we'll get to in a little bit, and then he's got the fur on there, and that's it. Like when you kind of take him out of the package, this is how he looks. So starting with his head sculpt, it's just glorious. Beautifully sculpted head here. Take a look at the wrinkles under the eyes. He looks like an old, seasoned veteran of war. He is the king. So he has this very ornate beard, braided with rings throughout. Really nicely sculpted. I do have one little kind of paint thing right here on the beard. A little rub or something right there. Not a big deal. But you can see there's more than just the red. There's also a wash giving it a little bit of a dark accents on there. His eyes are nicely painted. I'm always really surprised at how well the eyes are painted on these guys. And just kind of working the way around. You can even see like some details. There's a little bit of a stress vein over there. But yeah, really, really, really nice head sculpt. It pops right off. Very easy. And then the fur comes off too, really nicely. So getting a look at that fur. There's a couple tones in there. If you kind of look down there, you'll see it. And let me pop the head off and show you. So the fur comes off like this, and it's just like this piece that's kind of got a cut sort of in a chaotic, natural way to give it a little more natural look to it. And then I think I'm going to pop the other head on right now to kind of review the rest of the body. So we have this other head, and it's a helmeted head. I don't know, does he tuck his beard in there? I don't know where the beard goes when he puts the helmet on. But so you have this head, and on the top of it, you have a dragon. And I thought the dragon pegs in down here, but I've been trying to get it off. I'm wondering if they glued it on this particular figure, because like, I don't know. I don't want to mess it up too much because I can't get it out. So, and the other thing is there's a different neck peg on this type of figure. So it's an angled neck peg that kind of angles forward. So the torso is the regular kind of torso, I believe. And then you have some arm and leg parts that make him shorter. But if you were going to want to like reuse this torso with this paint scheme, you'd have to use the other neck peg that comes with the other guys. Like if you wanted to use it on a regular sized knight or something. But yeah, so you can see there's a really nice consistency of look throughout the entire suit. Black on gold with a little bit of brown, sort of like rusty color brown. Looks really nice. I really like the color scheme on this one. You can see throughout there. This skirt, soft plastic, painted in the same color scheme. And then this one is pegged separate piece from the skirt, but it's also the same kind of material, and it's pegged into the front. And then his legs, you can see. So, all right, so I think the upper arm is the regular arm, and then I think the lower arm is the dwarven thing. It's what gives it the dwarven length. And then the legs, I think, are all like separate. You can see where that peg's in. It just fell out. Yeah, so kind of getting in there with the leg. You can see the sculpt on the dwarven leg, and I think the feet are roughly the same as some other ones. I'm not 100% on that, but yeah, so it's a really good looking figure, really nice. I don't really see, besides this little piece on the beard here, I don't see a lot of issues with paint. That's kind of the only thing. But yeah, you can take a look at that. Inside of the beard is even painted. Really nice. All right, and then to see how he looks next to a few other characters from the line, let's take a look at, so we have a dwarf, we have an elf, also from the 2.0 Advent of Decay, and then we have a goblin also from the Advent of Decay. So elf, dwarf, goblin. And then we have an orc and a skeleton. And those are from the 1.0 wave. So those are on the 1.0 bodies. You can see how he scales with those. And finally, a couple other small folk from a couple other lines, or one other line really. The Black Series Maz Kanata and the Black Series Jawa. So you can get a sense of how he scales with other smaller, shorter folk from other lines. And Bromden comes loaded with accessories. This dude has a ton of stuff. So starting off with his main weapon, here is the crazy long hammer that he comes with. It's got like a jewel encrusted end right there. You can get some definite momentum swinging this thing. And this head pops off right here. So it's two parts. I kind of in some ways wish it was a little shorter. But, I mean, that thing's massive. Really nice. It's actually nicely painted, and all the weapons match up with the paint scheme. It's sort of like this gold with a gray, dark sort of dry brush over the top of it. You can see the two tones there. But really nice weapon, really cool, unique thing. And then his sword that he comes with right here, same kind of paint scheme. Very dwarven-like. I like that broad blade on it. Looks pretty cool. And then he's got an axe. I actually kind of think this is my favorite one. I just really like how this one came out with this paint scheme. Looks really cool. It just feels very kind of dwarven to have an axe like that. He comes with a shield with the emblem of what I would imagine is, the kingdom of Ironhold. Really nicely painted. It's got the 2.0 kind of handle where you grip it in his hand rather than clip it onto his arm. But pretty cool shield right there. And then I already showed you the other head sculpt. So he's got that helmeted head. And then he's got his crown that fits on really nicely. Fits that head pretty much perfectly. He's got two shoulder pauldrons, but mine have a problem. So I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it in this video. But the one in my right hand the peg is too thick. It's thicker than the other one, and it won't peg into his back. And so that creates a problem if I want to put his cape on, because I can't peg that into his back, so I can't attach the cape. In addition to that, the cape is probably going to rip right there. I can already see it. It's like, it's going to come apart right there. So a few little QC issues. What I may do with that pauldron is I may take a file and just try to file that down so it fits in. The other thing about the pauldron is there's like some paint issues going on. And I think like it got melted or something is what happened. But you can see right there, this is the one that's mis-sculpted, I think. And you can see it's a little messed up and it's got some weird paint stuff going on over on that side. Where's the matching? I think this is the matching side here. Yeah. You can see it's like mispainted, or maybe it's like burnt, or I don't know what's going on here. Something's messed up with this right here. But if I can file that down, that's on the back, you know? So, I mean, that would be totally fine. It would look totally good from the front. It would look like this from the front. So not a big deal. Hopefully I can get that filed down and it'll peg back in. But right now, it just won't fit in the hole. It's actually pressing and ruining the hole as I try to do it. Okay, and that's pretty much it for the accessories, except it comes with the usual, like, sword belt that you can either put around the shoulders or around the waist and have the sword in there. All the figures come with one of those, pretty much. And back to this head for the articulation, because it's just, you know, get all that other stuff out of the way while we do the articulation. Even though I think he looks best with the other head and the, you know, and the fur. It looks really nice. So the head can look up a little bit. It's got that forward pointing neck peg, so it's a little weird. It's not going to look up very far. It can look down that much. A little bit of side to side and rocking and twisting. And again, I can't get that dragon you know, decoration off the top. It might be glued in there, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's pegged in as a separate piece. It just might be glued on this particular figure. Okay, moving down, the shoulders can rotate up this far, not a ton, and then swivel down and can swivel all the way around. And then you have the elbow joint bends this far. Not great articulation on this guy, even maybe less so than other Mythic Legions. There's a swivel at the forearm, and then the wrist has a hinge, and it also rotates around. At the waist, there's a ball, and he can kind of go side to side a little bit, and he can crunch forward a tiny bit and backward that much. And he can kick forward a good deal, and his legs can go out into the splits, and his knees will bend that much. And his upper thigh has a swivel, and he can rock his foot forward this far and back that far, that much. And then it has the awesome ankle pivot that the Mythic Legions, I think, do really well. It's one of the better things. So he can go pretty wide stance and still be flat-footed. So this figure is pretty great. Mine's got some QC issues, though. So I think that there's been a few more issues going on. I don't know that mine are worthy of having to contact them, really. I think the cape will survive. I think I can just mess with it. Maybe I can just glue it together. And then I do think I'll be able to file that peg down on the pauldron. So, yeah, I don't think it's that big a deal on this one, but I have been kind of hearing more people having their figures arrive with like missing pieces or, you know, something weird going on. But yeah, I mean, this figure is pretty great. There's so many options for him. You can pop that head off, pop on this one, and, you know, like, you don't even necessarily have to have the under fur on there, even though the fur looks really nice, very regal and kingly. But yeah, so pretty sweet guy. Very happy to have him. This is my first dwarf. I'm gonna probably pick up a few more. I really like the body type on this guy, and it kind of fills out the world of fantasy that these guys are putting together. So really nice job to the 4 Horsemen. Thanks for watching my video. Be sure to check out my other videos, like my review of the Skeleton Legion Builder, my reviews I've been doing of the Star Wars movie realization Samurai line. Check me out on Instagram for action figure news and my podcast, The DorkLair. And may the Force be with you. DorkLair!